Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is and I make videos about being an international student in Canada. If you have watched my earlier videos, you probably know that I just finished my one-year certificate at Conestoga College and I'm now doing my post-graduation work permit. And that's what I'll be talking about today. So today's topic is about PGWP or post-graduation work permit. So I'll be talking about what PGWP is, why is it important, who are eligible to apply for PGWP, what are the requirements. I'll also walk you through on how to apply through your GCKey account. It is much simpler and straightforward process as compared to the massive research and documents that I've gone through in submitting my study permit. Please also excuse my eyebrows. I just had them made and they're a little patchy today, so just bear with them. All right, let's begin. What is a PGWP? The Post-Graduation Work Permit allows students who graduated from eligible designated learning institution to obtain an open work permit to gain a valuable Canadian work experience. It is important that before you enroll, you have to check if the institution, colleges, or university that you are applying for is a designated learning institution. Usually, a non-DLI would offer programs in a much lesser price as compared to a DLI. So that should be one hint. An average tuition for 1 year should be around 17,000 Canadian dollars. If it's way lower than that, then that should be one tip that would trigger you to check if the institution is DLI. I'll also be linking down the website where you can check and confirm if the college or institution that you're applying for is a designated learning institution. It is also important to know that applicants can only receive one PGWP in a lifetime. So that means if you have been granted of PGWP before, even if you return to study, you won't get another PGWP after completing a second degree. So why international students would aim for a PGWP eligible program or institution? PGWP allows international students to work in Canada, and a skilled Canadian work experience helps graduates qualify for permanent residence in Canada through the Canadian Experience Class or CEC with an express entry. The length of your PGWP depends on the length of your study program. If you study for less than 8 months, you are not eligible for PGWP. If you studied for 8 months but less than 2 years, your PGWP will have the same length as your study program. So if you studied for 1 year, then you'll have 1 year of PGWP. If you studied for 2 years or more, you'll be eligible for 3 years of PGWP. Now let's talk about application. After you've completed your program, you have up to 180 days to submit a PGWP application. The 180 days begin from the day that you receive your final marks or your program completion letter, whichever comes first. Please don't let your status expire while you wait for your marks. If your study permit is about to expire and you're still waiting for your final marks, there are two options that you can do. Number one is either apply for a visitor's visa so you can extend your stay here in Canada, or you can leave Canada and apply for PGWP outside Canada. If you stay in Canada and let your study permit expires, you have up to 90 days from the completion of your program to restore your status as student and then apply for PGWP. To restore your status, you have to pay for additional fee of $350 on top of the PGWP application fee of 255 Canadian dollars. And also, if you don't have a valid study permit at the time that you submitted your PGWP, you won't be eligible to work full-time until you get a decision on your work permit. On the other hand, if you submit your PGWP application while your study permit is still valid, you can start working full-time as soon as you submitted your PGWP application while waiting for a decision. To apply for PGWP, you must also maintain a full-time status as a student in Canada during each semester of your program, except for the final semester, which you can take part-time if you took an approved leave of absence. The documents that you will be needing to apply for PGWP are the following: IMM 5710E, your transcript of records, your completion letter, your passport, and your digital photo. Now I'll walk you through on how to submit your application through your GCKey account. So first thing is, of course, you have to log into your GCKey account, and then you can scroll down under Start Application. You'll see Apply to Come to Canada. This is what we want. Scroll down and look for visitor visa, study, and or work permit under determine your eligibility and apply online. Now, these questions would identify what are the applications that you are eligible for based on your answers to these questions, and also would provide you with the documents that you need to submit and fill out to submit your application. So the first question is, what would you like to do in Canada? You want to work? How long are you planning to stay in Canada? Temporary, more than 6 months. Select the code that matches the one on your passport. Let's look for Philippines. What is your current country, territory of residence? If you are presently in Canada, you should select Canada. I am in Canada, so I'll be selecting Canada as I am flying within Canada. Do you have a family member who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident and is 18 years and older? No. What is your date of birth? I'll just be selecting a random birthday here and click next. Are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States with a valid U.S. citizenship and immigration services number? No. What is your current immigration status in Canada? Student. Do you plan to work on campus? No. Are you a full-time student at the participating post-secondary institution and want to work off campus up to 12 hours per week? I'm selecting no here because we don't want to work off campus for up to 20 hours per week. We are applying for a post-graduation work permit. In the subsequent question here, have you recently graduated from a participating Canadian post-secondary institution for which your program was full-time and a minimum of 8 months? Yes, this is what we want. Is your work an essential part of your studies, for example, a co-op or internship program? No, because if we select yes, the system would think that we are applying for a co-op permit, which we don't want because we are applying for post-graduation work permit. And click on next. Have you been told by an Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada office that you are approved in principle of your permanent residence in Canada? I hope so, but for now, not yet. Have you submitted a permanent resident application in Canada? No. Do you have a written job offer? For this question, it doesn't really matter if you answer yes or no. During the time that I submitted my PGWP application, I did answer yes because I had a job offer by that time. But even if you answer no, it's still gonna have an option for PGWP. So you do you. Do you have an official letter from your school that confirms you've completed your study program as well as a copy of your final transcript? Yes, these are the requirements. What is your marital status? Single, never married. What is your province of destination? If visiting multiple provinces, select the one in which you will be spending most of your time. I would choose Ontario. Based on our answers, these are the results of the applications that we are eligible. So we're eligible for work permit, TRV, and postgraduate work permit in Canada. So this is what we want, so we'll hit continue. We are going to ask you a few more questions. Based on your answers, we will provide you with a personal checklist of all the documents you need to submit with your application. Do not submit multiple applications for the same service in an effort to speed up your application. Doing this may result in both applications being processed and delay the finalization of your application. We do not refund processed applications. Continue. Do you have an official letter from your school that confirms you've completed your study program, as well as a copy of your final transcript? I'll say yes to this again. Have you had a medical exam performed by an RACC authorized panel physician within the last 12 months? No, because mine has expired already. I did my medical when I was submitting my study permit, which is over 12 months as of this time. Have you lived in a designated country or territory for more than 6 months in the last year? I'll be answering no, since I came to Canada of August 2021. So I've been here for since then. But if you are attending your classes from your home country online, and if you have lived there for more than 6 months in the last year, you need to answer yes in this question. This would require you a medical exam, and then click next. Do you want to work in one of the following jobs? I don't work in any of these jobs, so I'll answer no. But if you do, please select based on your situation. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? No. Are you giving someone access to your application? I am submitting it myself, so no here. In the past 10 years, have you given your fingerprints and photo for an application to come to Canada? Yes, I did my biometrics in the Philippines while submitting my study permit. There are fees associated with this application. Will you be paying for your fees, or are you fee exempt? Yes, I will be paying for my fees. Are you able to make a digital copy of your documents with a scanner or camera? Yes. Will you be paying your application fees online? To pay online, you can use a credit card, Visa debit, or debit MasterCard. Yes. Now, it doesn't have to be a card that's under your name. It could be your relatives or your friend's debit card. If they're willing to pay for your application fee, then good for you. Now, in this stage, you'll need to review your answers to all the questions. If you want to edit some of your answers, just hit the edit button on the right side of your screen and you'll be able to change your answer. If you're feeling pretty good on what you have submitted, then hit continue. And these are the steps in submitting your application. These are the same pages that we saw in submitting our study permit. If you want to read through it, just feel free to pause the video. All right, now we're on the documents checklist. So based on the answers to the questionnaires, these are the documents that we have to submit. So we'll have to fill out the IMM 5710, which is application to change condition, extend my stay, or remain in Canada as a worker. We'll also need to submit supporting documents such as our transcript of records, our completion letter from our institution, passport, and digital photo. Optional documents, we have IMM 5257, which is application for a temporary resident visa made outside Canada. You don't really have to submit this one if you're applying within Canada, because this one's particular to submitting application outside Canada. And of course, we have client information. Anything that you want to tell the visa officer, or any documentation that you want to include other than those that are mentioned above, you can include under client information. Again, those are optional documents, so you don't really have to include anything if you don't have any additional documents to submit. And at the bottom is the breakdown of the fees that you'll be paying. So work permit is for $155, and open work permit holder fee for $100. That's for a total of 255 Canadian dollars before taxes. And that's all I have for you today. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment down below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you can hit that subscribe button and watch some of my other videos that I uploaded. And thank you so much for watching until the end of the video, and I'll see you again next time.